Can you hear me?
Here we go.
We're going to go ahead and get started. We may have some other people coming in, and as many of you know, the doors are going to open at 4:30. But if you're here, you can come on in after the ribbon cutting. But the other event will happen at about 4:30. We'll have a number of speakers that come up then and present to the audience here today. But right now, what we're going to do is cut the ribbon. And I'll tell you, when we started this in the groundbreaking in March of 2017, it was a cold, wintry day. It was very, very cold that day. And this is a project that most of you know, and you'll hear some of these words again, started about 5 years ago. But really it started over 50 years ago, because this has been something that we talked about here in Rocky Mount for many, many years. And so the fruition is here today. The will to do it was with the council that we have now, and so we're going to recognize some people later today. But we're here now to do the ribbon cutting. We have a special guest with us today that we'd like to come up in just a minute and talk about some reasons why this is an extraordinary site, not only because of the economic development, but because where it sits. So at this time, I'm going to call up Secretary Reagan in just a second. Governor Roy Cooper appointed Michael S. Reagan Secretary of the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality in January of 2017. Reagan took over the leadership of the state's environmental agency after spending 18 years working on the environmental regulatory and advocacy initiatives. He served in numerous leadership roles for the Environmental Defense Fund. He also served a decade with the EPA in the air quality and energy programs for both the Clinton and Bush administrations. Reagan served as an EPA National Program Manager, designing programs aimed at reducing pollution and finding market-based solutions to improve energy efficiency and overcome climate-related challenges. He served on numerous boards and commissions focused on environmental issues, including UNC School of Law Center for Climate, Energy, Environment, and Economics, and the North Carolina Energy Policy Council. He's a native of Goldsboro, North Carolina, and he and his family live in Raleigh. But before he comes up, I just want to say that he was down here about 6 to 8 weeks ago with us and met with us over at Carolinas Gateway Partnership, because I think too many people look at the Department of Environmental Quality and think about it only from the environmental standpoint of view. He sees a different role, or a combination of roles, in economic development. And this site is a site that he'll talk to you about in a minute, and why it's such important work that they're doing at the Department of Environmental Quality, and some of the things that he sees that I think the average citizen doesn't see when they think about that department at the state level. We have a number of dignitaries here today. Right now, I am not going to introduce those dignitaries right now. We're all going to call up some people in a minute to help us cut the ribbon. But at this time, I'm going to welcome Michael S. Reagan up here and have a few words from him before we cut the ribbon.
Good afternoon. I want to thank the mayor and the leadership of Rocky Mount for their vision. This is really, really impressive. Thank you for having me. On behalf of the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality and on behalf of Governor Roy Cooper, I want to congratulate the city of Rocky Mount on becoming the host city for our department's 500th Brownfield Revitalization Project. The Rocky Mount Event Center was selected as the 500th Brownfield Revitalization Project because Rocky Mount, the leadership, and this community are the epitome of what was envisioned over 2 decades ago when the Brownfields program was established at DEQ. Across North Carolina, communities like Rocky Mount are experiencing economic revival, renewal, thanks to the entrepreneurial and optimistic spirit of the citizens and the leadership of this town. And thanks to programs like our Brownfields program, which help to repurpose properties once that were abandoned and neglected. Over the last century, I've been told that this property has been a boarding house, a tobacco warehouse, and even a gas station. But now, after hard work, partnership, and perseverance, it's going to be a force multiplier in the heart of the community once again. This property is adjacent to the historic Douglas Block, which was also facilitated by a brownfields agreement by our Department of Environmental Quality. The Douglas Block was once a thriving business district, locally owned and operated, which in the height through the mid-1900s served as a hub of activity for African-American community. If you were an African-American who wanted to visit a doctor or a lawyer's office, go to the hair salon, or seek entertainment, you could do it on the Douglas Block. Now it's coming back to life for all of Rocky Mount citizens. DEQ is honored to be a part of this history, to ensure the area is safe and usable, and to see the result, an event center for local athletics, for the latest concerts, and for families, including the ones who will receive health care in the clinic inside. What has happened here in Rocky Mount is a success story that North Carolina should take note of. For the development all across rural and eastern North Carolina, an area of the state that I was born and raised in. And this is an example of what can happen when we invest in rural North Carolina. The creation of thousands of jobs and a facility attracting thousands of new visitors and millions of dollars contributing to the tax base. This is the epitome of the vision that Governor Cooper has for his Hometown Strong initiative. But it means more than dollars to the city of Rocky Mount. As the young people of this area make decisions about where they will start their careers or raise their own families, this community center is a sign of economic hope, that they can choose to stay in a community that they love, that they cherish, and not be forced to leave for a good paying job, but they can get that right here in Rocky Mount. From the Imperial Center to Rocky Mount Mills, the Department of Environmental Quality has been a proud partner and catalyst in the revitalization of properties across North Carolina and throughout Rocky Mount. But that's not something that we do on our own. It's because of the determination, the vision, and the resiliency of communities like yours and the leadership that represents you. Since beginning in the late 1990s, there have been hundreds of brownfield agreements across North Carolina, generating more than $16 billion in economic investments in towns and cities just like Rocky Mount. The good news for our state is that there are hundreds more in the pipeline. Cities and towns on the cusp of building their own event center or affordable housing or green space for communities for people to gather. That creates homes for thriving businesses and a community area that creates jobs and boosts the economy, all while protecting the environment, proving that economic growth and environmental stewardship are not mutually exclusive, but they actually go hand in hand. So now I want to call up your leader, the mayor, and I want to present him with this certificate here. On behalf of Governor Roy Cooper and DEQ, I present this framed certificate celebrating the Rocky Mount Event Center as DEQ's 500th Brownfield project. Again, I congratulate this community and this mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Reagan, and thank you all for being here today. This is a great day in the city of Rocky Mount, and there's so many people that we need to thank and be grateful for. But again, we do have a presentation at 4:30 that'll be starting. We'll have a lot of introductions at that point in time. The facility will be open in just a second, so you can go through it and look through the event center, and then at 4:30 we'll have the main event. So at this time, I'm going to call up a number of people that are going to come up and help me cut the ribbon. Obviously, our city council members, if you will all come up, we want you to be a part of this. Our city manager, Rochelle Small-Tony, Mr. Charles Penny, he was our city manager when we started this project. Rochelle is our manager now. Mary Moser from Barnhill Construction Company. Not my phone, so
Okay, you're about to do this ribbon cutting. at the grand opening of the Rocky Mountain Event Center.
Terrence Holt, Holt Brothers Construction, Dev Petit, who is, you're going to hear more from him later, but he's with SFM and SFA. William Turner, Brian Oxford, John McDonald, also all with SFM or SFA. Congressman Butterfield, I don't know whether he is here yet or not, but if he's not, he should be here shortly. And let's see, this one keeps cutting off, not my phone. We only got a couple more, so just wait. David Ferris from the Chamber of Commerce, Secretary Reagan, and I'm going to add one that's not on here because he was part of this when we started, and that was former council member Lamont Wiggins, now Judge Wiggins. So if you're there, I also want you to come up as well. So at this time, we're going to ask them to come up. We're going to cut the ribbon in just a second, and then it'll be open for y'all to take tours. Again, at 4:30, we'll have the main event, and just again, thank you all for being here today. Turn sideways. All right, you're directing us?
I will.
All right.
You have to sit up, and everybody look out. We've got all the cameras. Look out and smile. Make sure you look at Gary here as well. Is everybody ready? All right, here we go. And we're going to pick one and then cut. Ready? 3, 2, 1, cut.
ahead.
Oh, wait a minute.
Hey, how you doing, man? All right, all right. I know who you are this time. I ain't get your mouth. I didn't get your mouth. So, all right, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. How you doing? Good to see you. He told me he was on the way in. He told me he just put you out parking the car.
He was parking the car.
That's what he told me.
And my resident was so fast, they came on up and came in here.
What?
Now I can't find him.
Can't find them?
I don't know which door he went.
Okay, yeah. I just talked to him while ago. He said he was on the way in. Okay. Yeah, he told me you were walking in. Yeah.
Yeah, because he said he went to park the car in the van from me. And they couldn't wait.
Right.
You know how they is.
Oh yeah.
I said, oh,